Thank you for joining. And we were discussing on Talanoa, and I will say also to Sebuloni, Pierre was very nice last year that he has mapped the Talanoa dialogue through the sociocracy principles that now maybe Pierre will show to us. And let's start with that, Pierre. Let's give us a real brief introduction on what is sociocracy and which are the principles by which is based.
Okay, so thank you for the invite this year too. I'm happy to be here. A bit in a rush, I must say. So I was organizing things and just at the last minute. But yes, what about sociocracy? Sociocracy is born in the Netherlands around the 70s from an entrepreneur that was at school in a very particular school. I think that if I remember well, the year was 1926, and it was founded by two Quakers, Betty Cadbury and Kees Beuke. They were educator and pacifist. So Kees Beuke, started to experiment with consent method, that what we call the decision-making method of the Quakers in the school, to involve the kids and involve also the educators in managing the school, in the governance of the school. And there is a very nice article about it, and if you want, I will link it later. And there, in this school, there was Gerard Annenburg, that is the man that experimented it in the industries, electrotechnic industry in Holland, and he developed it and synthesized it like sociocracy. So what I'm talking about is this one. So born in a business context, but over the year, bit under the radar, he has developed a lot, and so it has been used in many contexts. So let's say you can find it in intentional groups, small groups, or in big businesses. And this is very intriguing. Also, the different way you can use it, and the different benefit that you can have from using it in a business context or in a more intentional community context. And it's about very simply, it's about three things. I mean, I like to say it's simple but sophisticated. It's very simple but very sophisticated too. So it's about just three principles, that is transparency, equivalence, and efficiency. So transparency is, I think, is self-explaining. So, but I will add just a few words. If you want to take good decisions, you need transparency, because the data to take the decisions, the important data about the decisions is, yes, it's the data. So these are the elements. So transparency in your context or accessing to the information is crucial. Another one is efficiency. You want to know that what you decide has an impact, it works. So you don't take very much decision, let's say you don't write decision in stones, so you don't change them, but you verify them iteratively. So you just, it's a cycle that is called lead, do, measure. So the lead phase is very simple, the phase where you decide what to do. The do phase is where you do it, you receive information, you receive feedback from what you are doing. And then the last part is of the cycle. It's like a loop. It's a measure. So where you sit down and you say, okay, we wanted to do this. We wanted to achieve this. Are we doing it? Are we achieving what we have learned in this process of doing? So shall we continue like this, or shall we modify something, or perhaps shall we stop? Okay, and this is a very intriguing. I think this is one very intriguing new way to think and act. So the lead, do, measure. So, and I think this will be very, very useful if we started to really read the feedback that the world, the climate, and a lot of things are saying from a lot of years, not now. This could really shape what we are doing and inform that we need to do something. And the last one, I will say, it is equivalence. And this is very important. It's crucial. So it says that when we take a decision, nobody has more voice than another one. And a decision is taken when there are no objections. So it's quite different from what we are used to. So we are used, mainly there are, let's say, three models. One is autocracy. I decide for everybody. And if you are okay with me, you're lucky. If you're not, I don't care. And we do how I say. It's very simple, very effective. The other one is majority and minority rules. So there is the ways that we vote. Normally we vote. Democracy has chosen this way of decision making. It's very useful in democracy because you can consult a large number of people. But there is a little problem that let's say, like Brexit, I always like to do this example. There was a nation that was divided, 51% on one side, 49% on the other side. And in this case, it's very extreme, but it respects the law of majority and minority. 50 plus 1%, we have a decision. So we have a majority, and the majority has decided. But you lose a lot of things. I mean, you create a division. So you have opposite poles. So on one side, yes, on the other side, no. But there are other things, and this creates some certain dynamics also to reach that. I mean, you have to create these two poles. So because you have to be recognizable. I want you have to vote for me. You have to vote for yes, and I tell you why yes. And if the game goes on, I also speak very bad about who's thinking the opposite thing from me. So this creates a lot of bad dynamics, dysfunctional, let's say dysfunctional dynamics that we can see now. I mean, the democracy at this moment, I think this is showing us this in very clear way. But there are more important things. I mean, also that we lose information, because the only information that will go to the decision, it's the group of that said yes, that win. And the other one, we lose them. So we lose pieces of, and our decision making is not so informed, not so good. The other way is that, let's call it Sociocratic way, or that a decision is taken when there are no objections. And when there is an objection, it should be heard, we like to say understood, explored, how we can integrate it in the decision, and then we have to decide how to integrate it. When in the group that is taking the decision, there are no more objections, this has become a decision. So we start from a proposal, and then finally we have a decision. And this is much more. This creates totally different dynamics between the people that are taking the decisions and the organization. Any kind of organization. I mean, when I speak about organization, it's people organized to do something together, to achieve something together, that have a common aim. This is very important. And all the information are collected, and we started to do an experiment. I like to call them any kind of decision is a prototype that you have to see how what happens in the world when you act like this. Imagine if in this decision-making process you could implement all the feedbacks that we have from the planet, from the climate, from any kind, from the environment. I mean, if this kind of decision-making was also questioning or asking and welcoming all the kinds of information that can come through humans. I mean, you don't have to ask to a tree, but there are people that knows about the tree, that knows about the climate, that knows about that. So it will be a great difference if we can involve in a decision making people that knows what they are talking about, what are the information that are needed, what any kind of thing. So I think you can feel the difference. That's, I think, very quickly what is sociocracy.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Now I'll share my screen one moment to showcase one image. Maybe you can tell a little bit more about that. So just one moment.
I grab my coffee at the same time.
Yeah. Yes, the image is was about properly the mapping of principles that you also made on the Talanoa. But just one moment that I found it. Okay, here we are. Okay.
Yes, I remember there was 3 main questions.
Yeah.
So it was like, yes. Wow. Okay, yeah. Where we are. So what is the state of the art? Where transparency is key, because we have to see a reality how it is and have the more information possible, so we can proceed in the direction in the Talanoa dialogue with good information, with good data. So the decision that will be the output will be very good or accurate, the more accurate as we can. So the other one is, where do we want to go? So what is our goal? And here the transparency and the equivalence between the people play a role that is very important. So to be transparent and don't have like I said, I don't know how to say in English, but it's like I say something that is my goal, but on the back of my mind I have another one, and I'm doing my job or saying things just to respect what is my second, it is perhaps my most important goal, but I present another one. So here transparency is really key again. And then like the equivalence between the people. So we need to find a goal that works for everybody. So we have to listen to everybody, to all the people, and find a goal that is sustainable in the way. And what I want to say with sustainable, it is that the decision is sustainable for everybody that is involved, so they are able to support it after. No? And we have to also perhaps find some balance in what are the goals. And how do we get there? So with method and strategy. So again, transparency and equivalence, like I said before, but also this is one key point is efficiency. So listen to the feedback. So set up this process of lead to measure. We took this decision. Now we do it. We make it, and then we hear the feedback and we measure if we are going where we are going, or the new information that are coming. But because I mean, the mindset mostly in the world at the moment is like, if I would do a sailing yes, I will use sailing like image. I will say that it's like if we have a ship, then we decide to go from A to B, and we just fix the wheel, we fix the motors, and so on. So we do everything that is contrary to what is sailing and what is life. I mean, like, because when you leave the port and you find the winds, you find the waves, you find the bad weather, good weather, that you cannot go in a straight line. Our mindset is to at the moment is still to just do the things and go over everything that we find in the middle, and just to reach our goal. But we don't learn this. We spend a lot of energy, literally, also in another way to do like this. Instead, it would be much more efficient if we adapt our path, our decisions, our our strategy to the feedback that we receive, because we learn what could be even more efficient in the way while we are doing things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I have just one last image that I want to show. Let me see if I found it. That also it's related to sociocracy. So let me see if I found it. And on that, I want to ask a question. That's it. Here we are. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I share again my screen. That's something that always like interests me in sociocracy. This way of understanding the world in circles and sub-circles and so on. So will you tell a little bit more about that?
Yes. Can you put the image back? So perhaps.
Yes, sure.
Yes, it's how can I when you take decision with consent, so asking if there are objections, what you need is to have people that are competent in what they are deciding about. So the organization, any kind, as I said before, has to decide what are their area of responsibilities or domains that needs to be created, and which people are needed in those areas to take the decisions. So it's very, let's see a practical example. I worked in theater for many years. So in theater, you have different domains or area of responsibility. There is the technical part. There is the marketing part, okay, or the communication, you can call it. There is the administrative part. So as a technician, perhaps I have some competencies in administration or in marketing, but it's not my domain. So where I have more expertise is in the technician domain. So you create a circle, you design a domain. So the domain is the area in which the people are, and they can decide in autonomy and decide how to do at best their work. And every circle, every domain have also one or more aims. So what they are producing. So it's very simple to think what the communication or marketing circle can do. So this communicating to perhaps also inside the organization, but also outside. So you create all these circles, you give them domains, you give them aims, and you need something so that keep everything working together. So it's this what you see in the center, the general circle. So the general circle they are representative of every circle connected, every circle directly connected, and they decide on a much broader domains and aims. So mostly general circle is about coordination of all the organization, or decision that well, you need the competencies of all the other circle around the general circle. And going back to the department circle, each department circle have a domain and aims. Perhaps domains is big, perhaps the aims are more are difficult to do only one circle, so it can subdivide. So it's like having, I like to the analogy with the cake. So it's like having, you have a cake and you start to do slices, and you give the slices to the circles, and the circles can even divide more is slice if the work needs to be done by more people, if the work is complex, if we need very specific competencies. So that's how many it work. And this is really when you do this, it's really optimizing how an organization work, and really giving the space of empowerment and decision making and freedom for the people that are in every circle, every kind of circle.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if there are questions from the floor. I have just one regarding these two branches. Why there are two branches here? This is the detail that catch my attention.
Because these are the representative, and these are also lines. Let's call them line of information. So you have one representative that will bring the information, let's say, from the general circle to the department circle, and another one, and normally is at the beginning is the general circle that select who is this person, and also this person will create the circle and will start it. And in the circle, there is another person that is a representative that is selected by the circle to bring the information from the department circle to the general circle. So sometimes it's difficult to explain this. When you see it live, you understand it. It's crucial when there are power struggles, because normally there is one person that connects. If you see the pyramid, normal pyramid of an organization, there's only one person connecting, and this person is is filtering information. So I've seen that. I mean, when the one person have to communicate something that is people will not like, so he never take the decision, and somebody else take it. He's just bringing the information. If there are good ideas, he take them and he bring it up. So powers can have a strange trick. Can play different strange trick. In this case, what is happening, and what I see that is very very useful, that with two people you are more interested and let's say pushed to ask yourself, I am bringing all the information, I am bringing all the point of view of my circle, and it happens for both of them. So, and at the same time you relax, because you can say, okay, I bring my, and the other one can fill in if there is something missing, if the image, if the information is not complete. So it's really a more, you relax more, let's say, and when it works really wonderfully on this side. So there a nice flow of information from let's say general circle to department circle, or department circle to sub-circle, and so on.
Thank you very much. I think there is space for one last question from the floor, not from me. Also in Italian, because I saw some Italian speakers. No problem if you state in Italian, non c'è problema se poi fate la domanda in italiano, la traduciamo dopo. So I don't know if there are questions. Non so se ci sono domande. Sorry.
Posso inserirmi? Domenico, posso inserirmi?
Prego. Vai.
Ok, grazie. Allora, grazie dell'invito. Decisamente molto interessante tutto questo discorso e quello che si dice, completamente costruttivo. Vedendo un attimino questo discorso del Talanoa, è perfetto. Diciamo che la prima domanda che viene a farsi, che siamo in pochi a doverne parlare, o perlomeno addirittura a conoscerlo, questo tipo di dialogo. La domanda normale è: ma come mai diciamo che non sono sciocchi, i nostri governanti non possano utilizzare un sistema di questo genere. Oltretutto, come diceva Pierre, è proprio il fatto che è una situazione piramidale, pensando che la parte centrale, come vediamo il general cycle in questo momento qui, tutto il resto può essere quello che noi andiamo poi a strutturare come governo, quindi che sono esattamente le persone del decision making, no? Giusto? Ecco, se sono le persone che decidono e sono quelle specializzate, perché ci troviamo in questa situazione? Che cosa non funziona? Attenzione, su questo, che è normale, perché viviamo in uno stato di democrazia, come diceva sempre Pierre prima, questo tipo di metodo democratico porta due livelli, uno esclude l'altro, quindi ecco che si fanno determinate scelte. A questo punto mi porta a pensare che forse, è brutto come termine, ma è quello essenziale, che se si vuole entrare in un metodo sociocratico, possa diventare una sorta di dittatura, ovvero sia dittatura, prendetela con le pinze questa cosa qui, nel senso che la parte centrale prende atto effettivamente del Talanoa e applica questo, quindi non lasciamo, non escludiamo assolutamente nessuno, ma solamente viene utilizzato quello che è la parte consapevole di quello della gestione di uno Stato, di un governo, o se vogliamo dire più ampio del pianeta. La domanda è, pensiamo che conoscano i nostri governanti un sistema di questo genere? E la domanda è, non si fanno carico perché questo è troppo, tra virgolette, democratico? Non so se sono stato chiaro.
Okay. Okay.
Grazie.
Grazie Mario. I think Pierre has understood. I will repeat eventually also for Sebuloni. So basically, why this methodology, Talanoa and Sociocracy, are not implemented by the government, for example, as a way to decision making for the government. That's it. That's basically the question. I don't know if Pierre want to respond, then he need to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, first one thing, I think that applying this to government, so the governance of a nation, it's I've seen one not a study, but like let's see how it can work, how it could work, and it's not that simple. Okay. The governance of an organization is different. So because the organization is more specific, the governance of a nation is more broad. So this is the first thing. At the moment, I will not promote sociocracy for the governance of a nation, to be very clear. And I would like perhaps to, not perhaps, I would like to, perhaps other tools that will be more useful. Because there is also a big mindset change that have to happen and a big cultural change that have to happen. And I can relate to this. When I first knew sociocracy, I was an enthusiast, but I needed, I think, let's say 1 year to practice it in an organization that was running sociocratically, to really understand how it worked, and the changes I had to do in myself, culturally, mindset, and so on, to be really sociocratic, let's say, to fully be in the sociocratic approach. And now I come to our government, let's say Italy. When I think about Italy, because I live in Italy, I see that the mindset and the cultural change needed are so big that it's difficult that they will look at this as a possibility. So let's work toward this. I mean, I come from transition town movement, and And one thing that I really loved about transition town movement was like let's work from down and create the possibilities that new things happen. One thing it could be that more and more people use sociocracy in their jobs, in their organization, in the schools, and so on. There's a wonderful documentary that is called School Circles. It speaks about sociocracy in schools in Holland, and then the time will come that we will be able to use it. It will take time. For the moment, I would say, I don't know if Martina has already talked today, or she will talk.
She will talk after you.
Okay, I think that Martina have good ideas on, and she brings also other things that that can build this bridge to another way of governance for a nation.